Hi, I'm Julie Dottle. This is my case study. Category 1, what do we know? The community is a larger city. There's a lot of professional families and parents there. They have high expectations for their students. The students have and use the latest technology. Dr. Forbes is the principal at this school. He's proud of his school. It's a good relationship with staff. He's supportive. He has high expectations for students. Last year, he received several phone calls from unhappy parents about a new teacher, Miss Walker's teaching style. He didn't seem extremely concerned about the cyberbullying. We know that Miss Walker is a highly qualified teacher of upper level math at Roosevelt High. Last year, she had several meetings with Dr. Forbes about how to reduce stress in students and to increase some positive interactions with students. The happenings of the case: Miss Walker called Dr. Forbes over the weekend. She'd received a link from email to a site that was threatening to her. She thinks that Randy Franks is responsible. They made copies of the emails and also the website that was up. Dr. Forbes says that he'll see if the district technologist can tell where the email came from. What do I need to know? I need to know if Miss Walker has changed any of her teaching approaches since the last year. I need to know if Dr. Forbes and Miss Walker have made an official improvement plan about her teaching style or methods, or how Dr. Forbes dealt with any of the grievances in the last couple of years with parents. I need to know if there's a district-wide technology policy, in particular something that says what to do about cyberbullying to handle the case. I also need to know if the district has a filtering system in place like Casper Focus that records activities on district technology that could also alert administration to inappropriateness like cyberbullying. I also need to know if there have been other cyberbullying instances in the past, maybe to other kids, and maybe some of these same individuals might be involved who had created the site and sent this email to Miss Walker. The problem identification: Miss Walker isn't feeling safe after she looked at the website. She feels threatened. She needs to know that the principal is going to take it seriously. She also needs to know who sent the email and who made the website. Even though there have been issues in the past with Miss Walker, Dr. Forbes tried to help her with her teaching styles. This may lend itself to the two of them having a little bit of a strained relationship. Miss Walker may not be feeling supported, also not safe after this. Essentially, she needs to know that Dr. Forbes will take this threat seriously, work to figure out who the culprits are, and then that he will also discipline them. Category 2, the investigation. My plan of action: the first section is an investigation of what happened. I would forward the email and the website to the technology specialist and see if they could identify anything. I'd also give Miss Walker an extra day or so if she wasn't feeling safe, just to see where the investigation goes. But I'd be continuing communication with her throughout the process. In the event that the technology specialist couldn't figure out who did it, or we look deeper into it and we may need to call law enforcement for a formal investigation. I'd be sensitive to those who are involved, careful not to implicate anyone, and then just try to squash any speculation that may occur around the school. Also, when everyone returns to school, I would visit with the people that I thought might be involved. I'd also keep the superintendent informed as well. I would talk to any parents of students who are being investigated, and I would try to be discreet and quiet about the situation so as not to alarm anyone. The second part of my plan of action would be a district-wide technology plan. First, I check to see if we have one and see where it's at, but no matter what it is, what I would like to do is to get a focus group of students, parents, teachers, staff, technology personnel, and some stakeholders from the community gathered together as a committee, and then they can review what we have, also figure out what needs revamping on it, make a plan for the future. That should include a school-wide information about digital technology citizenship, for teachers and students. And what I would like is not just a one-time assembly, but to have the teachers incorporated in the classrooms. It needs to be addressed regularly, not just once a year, because clearly it's become a problem. In addition to that, I'd like to have an annual review of the plan to be sure that every year we're keeping up with the changes that are happening. We also need to set guides. And then we also need to be sure that we have something in place that the district can monitor appropriateness. We need to have a system that can filter and alert the administration of inappropriateness that's going on the school website. The third part of my action plan would be the plan of improvement to help Ms. Walker with her teaching style. The first thing I would do is review the old action plan with her and see where we want to go. The next thing I would do is to build that relationship with Ms. Walker so that she can see the importance of the improvement plan and just to help her feel more welcomed in the school. I would try to include her in the technology planning committee if she was comfortable doing that. I would also create a new plan with some documentation and some goal setting with Ms. Walker for the upcoming year. The plan should include some sort of professional development and then some mentoring to help her along with her teaching. Category 3, as part of the resolution, I came up with 3 things. First, during the investigation, be very conscious not to implicate any students. I would be listening to see who might have information about what was going on, but I would also want to protect the innocent. In addition, I believe that the parents of all the students in the school are pretty involved, and I would imagine they would be in this situation as well. So using extreme care and caution is the way to go here. Additionally, I would notify parents of students that I visited with about the situation. Second, as we work through the steps for mentoring with Ms. Walker, all the students would be affected by any positive improvements made in her teaching style and strategies. She'd struggled in the past with reaching students, and then parents have complained about her teaching style. So coming up with ways to help her to be more successful in the classroom as a teacher is going to have a positive effect on the academic success of her students. With the already rigorous content that she already knows, her growth as a content deliverer will sure to increase the academic success of all the students. Finally, being made aware of digital citizenship norms through the classroom and school-wide presentations, I hope to decrease cyberbullying and the like. Hopefully, during this educational opportunity, students will understand those norms and also know the serious consequences that could ensue. In addition, having a system in place that filters and alerts administration of inappropriateness on the school server would be good for their well-being as well. And the earlier that we could head off any of this inappropriateness or cyberbullying, the better. Category 4. What was I thinking? First, I wasn't too concerned about the threat, but then as I read further on, I realized how serious it could really be. And if we let these sorts of things go, what's the next big thing? Or are they really serious about doing something? Second, I started thinking about how flimsy the technology plan in our district really is. We give every single kid in our district an iPad with little or no training on digital citizenship and how to deal with cyberbullying if it happened to you. So that's something that I was thinking about. Last, I was thinking about Ms. Walker being a new teacher and how one just can't believe the things that kids do these days as they're a new teacher, and she must have felt very unprepared. As her administrator, I would not want to leave her without a mentor to help her get through all of that. I know at the high school level it's a little bit tough because everyone's busy, but those relationships are vital to a teacher's success. What I was feeling, at first, I was overwhelmed with the amount of information I needed to think about to solve this case study. The variables could have gone either way. The teacher could have quit, the parents could have blamed the teacher. We may never figure it out. Second, I felt bad for Dr. Forbes. He was enjoying a long weekend, only to be interrupted by school, but that's the life of an administrator, something that I too will need to get used to. I could understand his reactions by not getting too excited or overreacting to the situation. He had the presence of mind to remember to make copies of the email and website, and that was good. Finally, I was feeling anxious. When I was growing up, we didn't have these issues with bullying and, of course, technology really. Teaching and learning has really changed a lot over the course of my 18-year career. We're going to have to step it up to keep up with it. Something like this could easily happen anywhere, even in my small district. And I'm sure that we're not fully prepared to do this, to deal with this as families or schools. What did I value? The first thing, the fact that the parents in the school are pushing to have accelerated classes for their kids is important. They want their kids to succeed. And I think that they trust Dr. Forbes enough to do the right thing by them. I also think that they will serve on committees for the school because of that relationship. Second, I thought it was a great value that Dr. Forbes was able to listen to Miss Walker and to calm her down. He reassured her and they made a plan. By the end of the conversation, she said she'd see him in the morning, so I could tell that she trusted him. The relationship must be one of trust if she was willingly calmed, and that they could make that plan. He also remembered to collect that evidence and copy it, and he wasn't quick to judge and wanted to take his time figuring out the best way to handle it. Finally, it was clear that Miss Walker was a very competent teacher. She had a great grasp of the content that she was teaching, and the students in her class want to be successful and they're driven. She's met with Dr. Forbes in the past, but they really hadn't made a plan for improvements. This is a value because we can tell that she would like to be better at delivery, but she just hasn't been given the tools. I think that there's a lot of promise in her as a teacher if she's given the opportunity to attend some professional development, grow, and have a mentor with some observations in her classroom. Some unresolved issues for me. To start, I felt like the information I had, I still didn't have much idea about where Miss Walker and Dr. Forbes stood in their relationship. I couldn't really gather if it was a positive relationship. The mentoring done in the past hadn't really yet taken effect, but I wasn't sure if it was because of their relationship. Next, the school's policy and their stance on technology was very vague. From Mr. Forbes at time, it appeared that he was taking the kids will be kids approach, and that these things were just pranks, and that's a little bit scary. Which leads to my last unresolved issue. Have they had other issues like this in the past that they didn't deal with? It seems pretty brave to cyberbully a teacher, and I could see a lot of practice cyberbullying on other students and other peers before this. This is why I thought it was important to review the current policy. Category 5. By not accusing anyone right away and looking calmly at the situation and how to solve it, I was demonstrating a sense of ethical behavior and integrity. Also, in listening to Miss Walker and allowing her to take a little time off because she was upset and scared. Also, I was supportive of her and encouraging her with her teaching style. And finally, when I formed the committee to look at the technology policy and revamp it, I was modeling integrity. Component 2, treating people fairly and equitably. By not jumping on and accuse students, I was looking at the situation and treating them fairly. Even if the student was found guilty, I would insist that they be treated with respect and dignity. I listened to and acted on the occurrence against Miss Walker. I didn't show favoritism towards the students or parents. I also gave her the time that she needed to regroup and feel safe after the threat. And thirdly, by visiting with parents of students I was investigating to keep them aware of the situation, I was being equitable and showing respect. And the third one, the way that I treated and investigated the accused shows a personal and professional code of ethics. And the way that I handled Miss Walker also showed ethical behavior, encouraging her to grow in her teaching skills in hopefully a positive and inspiring way. Finally, by leading the committee to looking at the current policies and amending them, and additionally creating some new educational structures for the entire student body, inspires others to do better. And through all of this, I feel like I was demonstrating personal and professional code of ethics that was inspiring to others. Thank you.